Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Robert Manso, and today I will be talking to you about gun violence in New Haven, Connecticut. Just to give you a little bit of background knowledge on the topic itself, New Haven has been stricken with gun violence for many years. I personally have lived in New Haven for 13 years of my life, and I've seen more people than I can count affected by the tragedy of gun violence. Um, the city itself isn't a bad place to live, but the people who live here really only know how to settle their disputes with guns, which seems to result in the loss of loved ones for a family every month or so. I personally feel the New Haven Police Department isn't doing enough to correct this problem, so I feel there needs to be more light shed on the situation. In my community, the relationship with the police can go one of two ways. It can be positive and welcoming, a welcoming one, which is demonstrated in the source that I have here. As you see, the police department says that they are fostering relationships between the law enforcement and the black community by scheduling events around the country, including the Yale University, to I guess limit the amount of like friction between the law enforcement and the community itself. With this, the relationship could also be attributed with tension in due to the lack of involvement within the communities and the shootings within the city. For example, the Jericho Scott case that I referenced as one of my sources, as you see, sorry, as you see here, um, the Jericho Scott case that I referenced as one of my sources, the family of the poor boy writes comments on his Facebook wall saying the killer of their son, brother, nephew is still walking uh, the streets free. As you see here, there was when this post was written, 6 months had already went by without any progress in the police finding any new leads, and to this day they still haven't found any new leads to solve the case. While I know police cases are based on leads, that might not have any. This isn't or sorry. Well, I know police cases are based on leads, and they might not have any for for this instance. This isn't the only example where there hasn't been the correct justice served in a given case. Also, the rate in which shootings occur in New Haven alone are rising at alarming rates. So, in the News Channel 8 and New Haven Register articles that I cited, as you can see here, um, there are also several shootings that occurred within the last year. One being on Clinton Avenue Street, and then the other on, I'm sorry, Orange and Elm Street. These streets aren't too far apart, so all the violence is concentrated in a given area. Um, with this senseless violence within my community, it makes it not safe to be a resident here anymore. Not only is the targets of these shootings being slain, but innocent people are being victimized in this violence as well. For example, Jericho Scott. According to according to a population-based study of severe firearm injury among children and youth, the highest risk. I'm sorry, I'll show you the study. The highest risk group 15 and 19-year-old males accounted for most of the homicides within Connecticut in that given year during the study. In Connecticut, it is dangerous to walk outside at night in some neighborhoods. I know this from firsthand experience. If you take a wrong turn down a street, that can mean your life. This shouldn't be the case, which is why the police should be more involved within the community. Now, I do realize this amount of activity will cost money. This is why I feel the national government should be involved. The only way to make real change in the community is to get the financial backing that a program like this needs. The violence in New Haven has gotten so bad that in the article, I live by Shooting Hill, as you see here, an eighth grader was quoted saying, I feel that my neighborhood is not a great place to live. There's drugs being sold and there's a lot of like jacking, mugging, like stuff like that. I'm afraid if I go outside, something might happen to me. I'm not supposed to feel that. I shouldn't be afraid to walk outside. This isn't the way the youth today should live. This is grossly unacceptable. The government needs to step in, first by granting funding to the New Haven police to do more patrols. Then it needs to implement regulations to get the ball essentially rolling on preventing and solving the shootings within New Haven for the safety of the New Haven residents as a whole. Now, I realize that there will be people who oppose this, and usually it'll be lawmakers that want to save money. Um, so I feel like the only way to essentially prove that this is like a national issue is to look at the rates in which people are dying. Connecticut and New Haven itself have been compared as some of the highest crime-ridden cities within the country, like Chicago, New York, and we have ranked just among the top of them. Um, to show you the sources that I've used, here is here's the source list that I've used, and these are all the links to all the articles that I've used in my presentation today. So that's my presentation. Thank you for listening. I appreciate it.